Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Just heading over to our shop to go grab our payloader, put some bedding in our calving barn. Was thinking about doing something a little different. If you guys have questions or comments, I'd maybe like to address them in another short video later on in the week that this video will be posted. Just wondering what you guys thought about that. Let me know if you like that idea. Sometimes easier to answer a question talking rather than leaving a long comment. I'd still like to plan on leaving a comment, but I thought maybe this was a good idea to give you guys better answers to your questions. Let me know what you think about it. Just heading over to our shop now. We'll meet you in the barn. Just grabbing the bales of straw here, bringing them into the pen. One of our guys is helping me here, Lucio. He's cutting the net wrap off. We always cut the net wrap off. So I'll bring in, I've got 6 bales. I'll bring in 6 bales. He'll cut all the wrap off and then I'll just shake them out with the forks. That's how we put bedding in these pens. We've used a grinder before a long time ago. That worked really well, but it created a lot of dust in the barn. So since then we've always done it this way. So we've got the cows moved over to the manure alley there on the right side. So I just finished cleaning the manure alleys here probably 30 minutes ago. Then we put bedding. There's another pen like this, identical to this, on the other side of the feed lane. We put bedding in that here just 10 minutes ago, and then we came over to this side. So we bed these pens probably every 2 to 3 days. Kind of depends on how many cows are in these pens and what the weather is like. If it's humid, the straw gets wet faster. If it's dry, sometimes we'll go 4 days. But it's basically just watching the pen to see how dry the bedding is, and we just add as needed. Where the straw is here, where the cows sleep and where they have their calves, there's no concrete underneath it, just clay. But it's we'd call it deep bedding. Bedded pack barn, I guess, is probably what this barn would be called. So it's not really composting, but it's kind of starts to. As you can see, it's kind of foggy in here. You can see some of the heat coming off the bedding. It was pretty cold this morning. It's still fairly cold now. It was about -1 Fahrenheit, -20 Celsius, I think, probably roughly. So when it's cold like that, and now we've got the door open, so we got all that cold air coming in. You really see the bedding steaming like it is now. I don't know if the camera will quite pick it up, but it's not terrible in the barn now. It definitely will get worse as the temperatures get colder, but you can already start to see it now that the bedding is steaming. So now I've got all the bales in. I'll head back to the first one and start shaking them out. He's working on this 3rd bale here, cutting the net wrap off. just spread the straw out a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfectly spread all over because the cows will spread it out the rest of the way. It's more just making sure that the whole bale is shook out and not rolled up anymore. Going through and opening the gates now. Come on, girl. So like I said before, all of our cows have their calves in this bedded pack area here, and the idea behind that is give the cows the least amount of stress as possible around calving time. So when they go to have their calf, they can lay down wherever they want in this pen, and if there seem to be no issues, if the cow's not backwards or upside down, or if it seems like the calving is going good, we'll let all these cows calve on their own, and most of them will. There are on occasion cows that need help with calving, but for the most part most of our cows will calve on their own. So we want them to have dry, clean bedding, because when that calf comes out, he or she's falling right into the bedding here, so we want to make sure that that's clean and it's dry, especially in the winter time, to make sure that there's enough bedding that that calf doesn't get extremely cold right away. So typically one of our guys will walk through this pen about every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes just to check on any cows that may be having their calf or that are going to calve soon, and if there's any that need attention, that we can see it right away or catch it right away. So I'm in the center of the barn now, so we just put bedding on the left side here, and then we did the right side just before that, so this side is bedded up also. feed bunk is empty. He just came through and cleaned the feed, so he'll be coming by with the feed wagon here shortly to give these girls fresh feed. All the cows in this barn are about a month away or less from calving. Cows and heifers are in this barn. We move them over here from our heifer barn. They'll have their calf here, and then they'll move over to the milking barns once they have their calf. I've had some questions about the equipment that we're using. So I was just using our 914M cat payloader. We've got a bigger payloader also, a 930. That one's just used for feeding. You saw me use this one for loading straw bales in the field also, and we'll also load manure when we're spreading solid manure with this little smaller payloader. We also have some manure spreading going on here the last couple days. So I told you guys before that we spread all of our solid manure ourselves. Well, we had one of our neighbors asked if we could spread some manure on a field of his, but it was about 6 miles away from the farm, which is really getting to be too far to do with a tractor, and our manure spreader would take me quite a long time to get his whole field covered. So he decided to hire a local manure spreading company to come in and spread his field for him. So they've been working on that here the last few days, probably since well, probably all week already, I suppose. So they've got manure spreaders on the back of trucks, and I think he's got 3 or 4 trucks. So they make quite a bit more progress than I would at that distance, even though that I'd probably load a little bit more on our manure spreader behind the tractor. But since they've got that amount of trucks and going over the road, they just make a lot more time than we do with our tractor. So it seems like it's been going pretty good. They've put quite a dent in our solid manure pile. I think they must be getting pretty close to wrapped up. I don't know if I'll have time to head out to the field and do any filming of them actually spreading, but there'll be plenty more solid manure to spread in the future. So if we don't get it now, we'll get it another time. Back in our calving barn here later in the day. Just wanted to show you guys what it's like in this barn, and when we're not in here putting bedding in or cleaning the alleys. So you can see that these cows are just mainly resting in the straw. Some are eating. They'll get up to eat a few times a day. So these cows have access to feed and water 24 hours a day. And they have access to the bedding area 24 hours a day. So they're basically just relaxing, waiting to have their calf. So calving time is probably the most stressful time for a cow. They have their calf and then they go into milk production. So we really want to make sure that in this environment that they're comfortable, that they have the proper nutrition that they need to go into milk production. So they have these cows have quite a different ration from the milking cows, and I don't know if you've noticed that from other videos that I've been in the milking barn. There's a lot more corn silage in that ration, along with other things, but that's the most noticeable part. This has some hay, some grass hay in it, and these cows have quite a different nutrient package, so quite a different mineral and vitamin package to make sure that they will have a healthy calf, that the cow is healthy, and that her body is ready to go into milk production basically. Well, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or any comments, I'd like to hear them. We'll hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks.